Our nervous system is running our lives. And here's how we're going to reset it. What if our exhaustion isn't from lack of discipline? And our feelings of being overwhelmed aren't weakness? And our burnout isn't failure? What if our nervous system is simply trapped in survival mode? In today's episode of Cut to the Chase at 8, we're unpacking how trauma, stress, pressure, and emotional overload impact our nervous system, and how learning to regulate it can completely change the way we live, lead, love, and heal. We'll explore why our bodies hold stress long after the danger is gone, how chronic survival mode creates burnout and illness, and simple ways to begin resetting our nervous system in just 15 minutes at a time a day. So take a breath with me and settle in, and let's get into it. Hey y'all, I'm Madison Samone Chase, also known as Miss Chase. I was raised by an incredible single mom who is my biggest fan and my BFF, my best friend forever, for real. I am a celebrity certified personal trainer, fitness and wellness expert, and sports and entertainment media host. Born in Fort Worth, raised in Dallas, and built in Los Angeles. I trained at Juilliard with the School of American Ballet, becoming the world's only 3-time ESPN Miss Fitness champion, appearing in over 450 plus fitness DVDs and infomercials. The first of those 450 DVDs was led by celebrity trainer Gunnar Peterson, the GOAT, known for training the Kardashian family. As a celebrity personal trainer myself, I've worked with Robert Pattinson of Twilight and Batman, Chris Tucker of Rush Hour, and Amber Riley of Glee, Dancing with the Stars, and The Masked Singer champion. And as a sports and entertainment media host, I've had the joy of interviewing Richard Branson, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emma Stone, Viola Davis, Tyler Perry, Tiana Taylor, Keke Palmer, Justin Baldoni, and Issa Rae. I share my story to honor the sacrifices my mom planted in me so that I could blossom and flourish into the woman I'm still becoming. So, wherever you're listening from, please pull up a digital chair, grab some hot or cold herbal tea, and welcome to my cozy home of Cut to the Chase at 8. A 15-minute micro-learning moment for macro living. And I am so overjoyed you're here, because this is where we explore life, spirit, mind, and body through lived experience, mine and yours, and intentional growth. So join me daily for just 15 minutes, twice a day at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, because this is your daily pause for a cause, for clarity, for wellness, for allowing grace in this space, and for intentional decision making. And each episode, my offer to you are 3 keys and 1 question to reflect on. My hope is that the 3 keys and 1 question to reflect on are something practical, something grounded, and something you could carry with you. So let's take a breath together. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's cut the noise. Let's get clear. Let's get ready. Let's get set. And let's grow. All right. Let's settle in. We are settled in. And so wherever you are listening from right now, if you're driving, walking, cooking, resting, being a caretaker, or simply pausing, let's allow this moment to become a soft place to land. Because what we're talking about today is something most of us have been living inside of insidiously, and we didn't even realize it. And so here's today's question. What if our nervous system is running our lives? And we didn't know it because it's so insidious like that. And most of us were never taught how the nervous system works. We were taught to push, to perform, to stay strong, to keep going, to survive. But we were not taught how survival mode rewires our bodies, our emotions, our brains, our thoughts, our spirits, our energy, and our behaviors. And yet, so many of us are living there. So why the nervous system matters? Our nervous system is our internal safety system. And its job is simple. Keep us alive. And when our brain senses danger, emotional, physical, or psychological, it sends a signal to our nervous system. Prepare for survival. And our body responds instantly. Our heart rate increases. Our breathing becomes shallow. Our muscles tense up. Our digestion slows. Stress hormones flood our bloodstream because this is fight, flight, or freeze. And this response is brilliant because this is how our body was designed when danger is real. But when stress becomes chronic, and when trauma is unresolved, when pressure is constant, our nervous system never fully turns off survival mode. And that's when exhaustion, anxiety, burnout, illness, and emotional depletion begin and set in. This brings me to key number 1. Our body holds what our mind can't process. Our bodies remember what our minds try to forget. The stress, the trauma, the fear, the loss, the pressure, the grief, the disappointment. Even when we move on, our nervous system often doesn't. It stores experiences in our muscles, our tissues, our posture, our breath, and our hormonal system. That's why our shoulders stay tight. That's why our jaws clench, or like me, you grind your teeth at night. Our stomach hurts. Our chest feels heavy. Our breath becomes shallow. Our body is still bracing for impact. It's still protecting. It's still surviving. So, lived experience. Functioning through survival. There was a season when I kept functioning, but I wasn't really living. I was productive. I was accomplished. I was responsible. I was high performing. But underneath all of it, I was exhausted, emotionally drained, mentally overwhelmed, physically. I was depleted. And I told myself, I'll rest later. I'll slow down eventually. I'll start to work out again consistently. I just need to push through. But my nervous system was quietly screaming for safety and to be safe. And no amount of achievement can override what your body was designed to do. And so healing begins when we listen. Which brings me to key number 2. Chronic stress creates chronic survival. When stress becomes constant, survival becomes our baseline. Our bodies forget to reset. We live on alert. We're guarded. We're tense. We're reactive. We lash out. We raise our voice. We're on edge. And slowly that becomes our norm. But survival mode was never meant to be permanent. And living there long-term leads to anxiety, insomnia, digestive issues, inflammation, autoimmune illness, emotional numbness, burnout, depression, chronic fatigue. Our body isn't broken. It's being smart because it's protecting us. This lived experience. We're learning and relearning safety. There was a moment when I realized I didn't know how to feel safe. Even in calm, even in peace, even in stillness, my nervous system had become addicted to urgency. So slowing down felt uncomfortable. Rest felt unfamiliar. Silence felt unsettling. But healing required me to retrain my body to recognize when I was safe again. And that's where regulation begins, which brings me to key number 3. Regulation is a daily practice. It's not a destination. It's not a sprint. It is a long journey. It is a countryside run. Regulating our nervous system isn't something we do once. It's something we practice daily through breath, through movement, through stillness, through silence, through prayer and meditation, grounding, rest, emotional awareness, and boundaries. Tiny moments of regulation teach our body we are safe now, and safety allows healing to begin. Lived experience for me was small daily resets. And what I learned, what changed everything wasn't a big breakthrough. It wasn't this Wow. It wasn't a big moment, right? It was micro resets, 5 minutes of breath, 10 minutes of movement, 15 minutes of movement, 15 minutes of being still, gentle walks, quiet mornings, intentional pauses, small daily signs that I am safe. And slowly my nervous system began to soften again. So bringing it together, our exhaustion isn't lack of discipline. Our overwhelm isn't weakness. Our burnout isn't failure. It's our nervous system asking for safety. And when we learn to listen instead of push, everything changes. So here's our one question to reflect on. Where in our lives is our nervous system asking for rest, for safety, or softness? And what would it look like to honor that today? And so I want you to notice what that feels like in your body, what that feels like in your spirit and in your brain, because awareness is where healing begins. So before you go, I want to say thank you truly for sharing this time with me. It's been an honor to sit with you in this space. And so let's quickly revisit today's 3 keys. Our body holds what our mind can't process. If your body is holding what your mind can't process, that means we have to be more mindful of what we're allowing in our space, in our physical space, in our emotional space, and the things that we say and the things that we allow people to say, the things that we watch, the things that we do, the things that we listen to, how we use our words. Because we could use our words either to build someone up or tear someone down. And that, we still hold on to that too. And chronic stress creates chronic survival, right? And this makes me think about a boxer. Boxers tend to do something that our bodies were meant to do in terms of flight. So it's either fight or flight. And most of the time, we're not meant to live in that space of fighting. But to do that as a profession, your body holds on to it. Something that was meant to be a defense mechanism and be temporary is not something that people do for hours and hours and hours. Which brings me to, that is key number 2, chronic stress creates chronic survival. Which brings me to key number 3. Regulation is a daily practice. It is not a destination. So sometimes we think, oh yeah, I enjoy sprinting because I feel like my body was built for sprinting. But when someone asks me, hey, can you run, for a couple of miles, or I'm not a long distance runner at all. And that is not something that I'm used to doing. So our regulation and regulating ourselves, it is a daily practice, and it is not just a destination. They were like, okay, we do this one time and we're done. It is something that we do. It is definitely a journey that we're on every single day. And so your reflection question, where in our lives is our nervous system asking for rest, safety, or softness? And what would it look like to honor that today? In today's episode, we talked and we shared a lot of things about what we're holding on to, what our body and our brains and our nervous system is holding on to, but how can we let go and reset it? We could do it. We absolutely can. So where in your life, in my life, is your nervous system asking for reset and safety and softness? And what would it look like if you really honored that today? So if today's episode offered you clarity, grounding, or a pause for a cause you didn't know you needed, or if anything I shared pricked your heart or lit a spark, please subscribe, share this with someone you care about, leave a comment so that this isn't a monologue but a dialogue, and leave a 5-star rating. It helps the space grow. Now let's close with one breath. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. and again at 8 p.m. Central. This is Cut to the Chase at 8 with me, Madison Samone Chase. Let's cut the noise. Let's get clear. Let's get ready, set, grow, and go. And let's be great. Blessings to you and yours until tomorrow.